Hey everyone, this is going to be a short video on how to do one of the most fundamental things that you need to do to make objects work well in Horizon Worlds, and that is making them return. Because it's fine to have a bunch of cool stuff, but if you don't want it just strewn about all over the place, you eventually want it to get back to its home. So let's see how to do that. All right, so the basics are actually pretty simple, but we can level them up in a few ways. So let's actually just create a new object. This will just be a really simple rod. All right, we'll just put that here. No big deal whatsoever. And let's give it a fun color just for visual sake. Okay, so we're going to want to make this grabbable, certainly, right? So we can actually interact with it, move it around. There it is. All right, so how do we make this return to its home? And let's just call this spot right here its home. Well, let's get a script. And we're just going to call this simple return. Let's move that. So the principle here is going to be really, really easy. Simple return. Why is this taking so long? Okay. All right. So to get something to return, we need to know where it starts. So when the world is started, we're going to track its position, right? We're going to create two new variables because not only is position important, but rotation is important as well. So this is going to be, we're going to say origin of position, org pos, and that is going to be a vector. Okay, that's one. And then we're going to say origin of rotation. And that is going to be a rotation. It does not matter what you call these, it just has to make sense to you. So now we have our two new variables. So when the world is started, we have to set the definitions of these. So we're going to set to. Okay. And we are going to set our org pos and our rotation to what? Well, it's going to have to be the starting position and the rotation. So when the world is start, we need to define that. Let's go here to operators, and we're going to find under object transformation, position of object. So the org pos will go to the position, and the rotation is right here. So org rotation will go to the rotation of the object. What object? Well, in this case, the script is just going to be running on that object, so it will be the self. Now, you can always define this as its own variable, but if the script is running on the object, it will just be the self. So that's it. Now we've logged where that object is. Okay, and so then what do we need? When something happens, when we're done using that object, we're going to want it to return. So that's a grabbable. So let's say when the object is released by the player, that's when we're going to move it back, right? We are going to want to then move the self, and we're going to rotate the self to where? To our starting position and to the starting rotation. That's it. That's the basic script. So let's see how that works. Let's come over here. We're going to grab it. We're going to move it, and we're going to release it. Oh, and you know why it didn't work? Because we did not attach the script to the object. Fantastic. We're all learning together. Let's get to the very bottom of this. Simple return. Okay, so now it's there. This should work. Ready? Let's move it. Now release it. Oh, and it moves back right away. So already we're seeing some things that we might want to change here. Well, first of all, what might we want to change? And so I'm going to actually go through the process of building up this script. And so I think it'll be a really helpful way of seeing how the internal logic of the system works. So it's no fun if the object just warps back immediately, is it, right? You might want to change hands. It just doesn't feel right. So we're actually going to want to make return a an event, and we're going to want to delay that event. So how do you delay? The only way is, well, like I said, by making an event. So we're going to send. So when the object is released by the player, we are going to send an event with delay. Okay, and what's that event going to be called? I think I already have a return event. Here we go, but it's going to be defined within this script. So when the object is released, send return after, let's say, 2 seconds. That'll be just enough time to grab it if we want to grab it again. Okay, so now we don't need this here. We need to define what that event is. When event is received, right? Grabbed it from here. When the event, let's find it in our list, return is received, that's when we're going to move it. And that's when we're going to rotate it. All right, so let's try that again. So hopefully this takes 2 seconds. 1, 1000, 2, 1000. And there it is. Great. So here's something else that's interesting. All right, let's continue to build on this. So I said we want to be able to switch hands, right? So let's see if that works. So I'm going to grab it. Okay, I have it now. I've released it, and I'm going to grab it again. Oh, ooh, that was weird. You see that? That shuddering? What happened? Well, when we said run this script, send this script when the object is released, even though I grabbed it, it still sent the return script, and then it didn't really know what to do. So again, let's continue to build. We now know that if the object is grabbed by the player, we don't want to send this event, right? So we're going to say here, let's go down to our grab events. When the object is grabbed by player, rather than if this is already being sent, we're going to want to cancel. Where is that? We're going to want to cancel that event. So cancel sending return. So let's see if that works better. So now we're going to go grab it. We're going to release it. And now we're going to grab it again. And there we go. Perfect. And now when I release it now, is it going to go back? There it is. All right, so it's worth pausing and kind of just breaking down step by step what's happening. So when the world is started, we are going to define the origin position and the origin rotation, right? We did that at the very beginning. Then when you, so these are going to be remembered by the script. Then when you release the object, we are sending the return script. If you grab the object, it is going to cancel the return so you can keep holding on to it. And then finally, when the return script is received, you're going to move it back to its original position. That's it. That's the return script. That's pretty easy. Let's go on and do a couple more things because there's some interesting stuff here. What happens when you have a hat, right? You don't, so when you have an item that is, let's see, let's go put this on. When you have an item that is an attachable, you don't keep holding on to it. Come on. You don't keep holding on to it. You release it, and then you're wearing it. So, based on what we just discussed, you can already see what the issue here is going to be, right? Because if I attached our script here, let's just attach our simple return script to this. Okay. So now it should know where that is starting out, right? And I'm going to grab it. I'm going to put it on my head. And then what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Oh, that's interesting. Actually, it didn't jump back. Usually it does. Oh, there it is. Let's put this back on, see if it happens. We'll see what has happened in the past, and maybe there is an update. But what's happened in the past, or at least with other attachables, is that when you release it, the return script still runs. So what I was going to say, and this might still be a good idea to do, is it's not just when the object, you don't want to just cancel sending when the object is grabbed. You want to cancel sending when the object is attached. So when the object is attached, you don't want that to register as a release because you have to release it to put it on your head. you're just going to do the same thing here. All right? And then one more thing that's worth noting. And so this is something that was giving me problems when I first started out. I couldn't figure out why until I finally did. If a script is local, so local is when it's running on your own headset, not on the server. It makes everything go faster. It's really great for anything that's, has any kind of sophisticated motion or projectiles or anything like that. So when you're running a script as local, what happens when you pick it up, happens when you pick an object up is it basically treats it as if the world starts when you picked it up, when it is now yours, and when you're and when it is starting to run locally. So the object actually goes back to a slightly different spot from when you first got it. So in this case, there's actually a slight change to what you have to do. And what I've been doing is using a positional object, just a trigger, because that doesn't take up too much. Space. I'm going to turn it off because, right, we just want this here for its position. And so rather than setting the origin position and origin rotation to the rotation of itself, because again, in a local script, that's going to change. What you do here is you create a pos object, a position object that is going to be an object variable. All right. And so you say, actually, we're going to set it to this position and this rotation because that is going to be a constant, right? That's not going to change depending on whether our script is, see, it didn't take, is local or just defaulted to the server. This might sound confusing. Like I said, this confused me for a while, but, and you don't have to do this if you're not messing around with local scripts, but if you are, then this is going to help. So all we have to do is make sure that our rotations are about the same. We have, okay, let's see. We have Y on the side, Z up. So let's just do the same here. Y, nope, like that. There it is. And so this, and if you just put this right in the middle of your object, that should all work. Now, the only other thing to do here is make sure that you connect on the object that's running the script. Let's connect the position object to that script so it knows what's up. And so for the helmet, let's just grab that. We're going to do the exact same thing. So let's just make sure our positions match up. I think that should be right. Nope. There it is. Let's put it right in the middle here. And so, and let's not forget to connect these. So we're going to connect this trigger. That's going to be our pause object, so it knows what's up. All right, let's see. Let's make sure this works. I'm going to release it, and it should go back. It goes back to exactly where, look at that. Where is it? Exactly to where its position object was. Let's try and do the same thing with our helmet. All right, there it is. It's not coming off our heads. When we release it, wait a few seconds, boom, exactly where it was supposed to go. And that's it. That's it. That's the return script. You can get more sophisticated with it, but that is the basics of what you need to know. So if you need, screenshot this, whatever, but just try it out yourself. It's pretty simple and absolutely necessary. This will become second nature very quickly because you use this for just about everything you do that can be moved and affected by the players. All right. All right, let's see. So that's it. Hopefully that was helpful. If you would like other tutorials on fundamentals like this, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.